Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video I'm going to do another ranking of my recent palette purchases. This one will actually be the last one for this year, but I am going to go over my recent palettes I tried, let you know which one's at the top, which one's at the bottom, and why. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree and I am just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun and colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot of indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Alright, my hot toddies. Can you believe it? It's almost Christmas and I'm at my final ranking for the year, which seems very crazy to me, but I am going to do a ranking of all of my palettes I tried in 2022 in the beginning of January. So that video is going to be a doozy because I did try a lot of palettes, but I don't think it will be as bad as the one I did last year because I purchased I think a lot more palettes last year, or maybe I'm lying to myself and I did just as much. I'm not too sure, but that video will come up sometime in the beginning of January. So we're gonna go over these palettes right here that I have recently tried. I'm going to rank them from the bottom to the top, give you guys all my reasons for why I'm ranking them where I am. This is gonna be based on either quality, color story, versatility, how unique it is to my collection, how often I see myself actually using it, things like that. Now, if I happen to rank something pretty low that you love or rank something really high that you hate, please don't take it personal. This is just based on my makeup preferences and what I like when it comes to makeup. We can all be friends here even if we disagree on our thoughts on makeup. Also, if you are wondering what is on my eyes and everything, I did film this look already and that video should have already been posted, so I'll link it below. I'll put it up in the corner. I'm actually wearing the Ace Beauté, the MV palette, which I don't have it near me to show you that, but if you want to see that review and see how I created that look, definitely check out that video. But anyways, that is all I wanted to say. I think we should jump into this ranking. So at the bottom of the ranking, which I'm very surprised, it's from a brand that I love a lot when it comes to like their eyeshadows, but this palette is very limited. It's very small, it's not that versatile, and it's just not something I can see myself using quite often. This is the Kaleidos palette, the Flowing Haze one. So it's a small little quad. So how much can I really do with this? Overall, it leans quite dark. Like the mattes look lighter in the pan, but once you put them on the eyes, they're actually a lot deeper, which was unexpected. Now the quality is great in this. The mattes are really, really pigmented, and the metallic in here is a really pretty kind of taupey, like dusty purple, which is also really nice to work with. But I can only do one look with this, and I don't gravitate to these more muted, dusty, taupey purples like I would go for a more brightly colorful palette. So I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of this. I wish like there was more of a mix to this. I just feel like it's such a limiting palette. So that is why it is at the bottom. And then the next one is the palette that's also in that same collection from Kaleidos. This is the Glowing Iris palette. This one is more up my alley. I like these like violet and periwinkle tones. So I can see myself wanting to use this more, or using these shades to pair with other palettes because it is pretty. Like the mattes are really nice in here. This beautiful, more lavendery metallic is also gorgeous. Like the quality is so good. It's just, what more can I do with this besides a like smoky, purpley indigo kind of look? But I could see myself pulling this in with other palettes if I want this kind of shade in the look. Formula is great. It's just not my favorite quads, and I feel like the other quads that they did were in the same spectrum of like cool tone, either purpley or taupey like shades. So I wish that they had did more like different colors, like maybe a green quad would have been beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, they're still good, they're just small. Anyways, so let's get into the next palette, which the quality is also really good in this. The only reason why it's ranked lower is because it wasn't what I was expecting from this palette. I had this whole different color story in mind and thought I was going to get totally different colors than what I got, but it's the Lunar Beauty 12 Days of Lunar. It was where you get the little calendar, you pull out a different shade each day, you got an empty palette to pop them in. But look at this packaging, right? It's beautiful, it's icy, it's cool tone. Then you have warm tones and neutrals and muted grunge shades. Now, if I wasn't expecting a different color story, I probably would have ranked this higher because I like these grungy autumn shades, but you have wintry packaging. You have a holiday themed launch, but you're giving fall vibes. And I wish the colors matched this outer packaging. I wish we had blues and purples and like icy lavenders and icy blues, but you get this. I don't know. I was expecting it to be a little bit more exciting. It's a little too muted and toned down, and to me does not match the theme, but the quality is really good. Lunar Beauty has excellent mattes. They have beautiful metallics. They're nice and smooth, easy to work with, so there's nothing wrong with the quality. Just my expectations were here and I got something over here. Then the next palette, which is lower in the ranking. I thought this was going to be way high up, but this is the Wierdos palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is part of their Halloween launch that they did, and this was the color story that I loved the most. Like, I was like, this is going to be my favorite, but surprisingly, it's not. Now, the color story is beautiful, don't get me wrong. You have some muted tones, the purples with the greens, and you got some pink. But there was a quality issue in this palette. I've never experienced this before, but this glamour shade is completely dry, and it came in that way. It's just all firm and you get no color payoff. Like, look at this. I'm rubbing in there, nothing comes off. It's crazy, but I did contact the brand already. They're sending me a new shade. They did have a issue with this shade for a lot of people. I guess that was a reoccurring issue, so they responded to me really quickly and rectified the issue. But I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting that to happen with Unearthly because they have really good eyeshadows and I've always had a positive experience. This one was just a one-off, and I'm a little worried that this Weirdo shade's going to do the same thing because how it looks in the pan is similar to the glamour shade, but it hasn't like had that happen yet. But I don't know, maybe it's gonna dry out. I'm a little afraid that that's gonna happen. So I had those issues with the palette, but overall it's really pretty. I just like the other ones a little more, which I'm shocked. Very, very nice though. Then I have the other palette that's in the like whole Halloween collection from Unearthly. It's the So Strange palette. This one is a lot more like brighter. There's some like kind of neon-y looking shades. I had no quality issues with this one. It's so pretty and bright and fun. I love this dark room shade. It's a beautiful like deep gray metallic. This like Sacred Sheets one, this Unusual one is really pretty. They're a little bit more flaky in texture, but they look gorgeous on the lids. Then you have these brighter like mattes. I do wish that maybe these two purples weren't like so close. Maybe if there was a little bit more depth, maybe like a deep purple would have been beautiful, or like a deep burgundy shade. I feel like would have made it more of a cohesive color story in my eyes, but quality is really pretty. Then the next palette is also from the Unearthly Cosmetics Halloween series, but this is the 1964 palette, and here are the shades in this one. The beautiful shade right here, this like shifty duochrome, is stunning. Then it has like this beautiful matte white that did really well. It has these beautiful sparkly shades. This one too is also a shifty shade. They're just gorgeous. But that 1964 shade is a blue to like green, purple. It's just such a beautiful shade. I think it is a multi-chrome. This one too is really pretty, but it's like a deeper green. Excellent formula in this one, and I thought the color story was very unique and interesting and made me feel very creative. When I looked at it, I was like, oh, I could do like a purpley look, I could do a green look, I could do a blue look, I could like get a little bit more brown. I don't know, overall I thought it was really good. Then the next palette, which I don't know, what are we at, number 5? Wow, we're moving right along, but it is the Terra Moon Cosmetics Cosmic Wanderer palette. This has a beautiful, beautiful formula in here. The mattes are beautifully pigmented and rich and vibrant. Then the metallics are super creamy and smooth. They're not really flaky. The only one that's kind of flaky is the shade, which seems more like a topper, but it also makes a beautiful inner corner highlight. First light, you can pop out these shades, you can rearrange them. The metallics are just so smooth and sparkly. So overall, this is really pretty. And I do feel like some of the shades are similar, like the Chromosphere and the Alera shade, the Blue shades too are kind of similar, Triangulum and Gravity. I wish like maybe they threw in some lighter mattes to kind of break up like these deeper jewel tones, would have been really nice and made those shades a little bit more different from one another. But besides that, quality is excellent, and I was really impressed by this palette. It makes me want to try more things from Terra Moon Cosmetics. So we're getting into number 4, and I'm surprised that this palette ranked higher than some of the other ones that I just showed you, but this is from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the Warms My Blood palette, and it was part of the Halloween collection as well. And this is the one I thought was going to be my least favorite when it came to the color story, but this blew my mind. It was so unexpected and such a surprise at how much I fell in love with this. So this is what the color story is like. It's more nudie, it's a little bit more muted, there's some pops of red, a little bit of purple tone. So I was like thinking I'm so gonna like the more colorful ones way more than this one, but no, this is so good. It's such a beautiful glam palette. You can create these beautiful purple looks, red looks, you can do something a little bit more brown and nude, and the metallics in here are so beautiful, so sparkly. Like this purple shade right here, I just used it, and it has so much little fine sparkles in it. It's so pretty. And then these two are so reflective. You just have a bunch of different metallic formulas. Some are a little bit more satin, some's a little bit more textured, shimmery, just, oh, it's beautiful. And the mattes are gorgeous in this one as well. So I was surprisingly impressed by this palette, and I think it's going to make the most beautiful glam looks. I did recommend this in my holiday Christmas palette video that I recently did, because this is the ultimate glam palette right here. Then going on to number 3 in the ranking, and I think this is so adorable and so Christmassy. This is the Merry Christmas palette from Oden's Eye. This has a beautiful, more classic color story for Christmas. You have the greens, you have the reds, but you have a little bit of like some olivey grungy tones right here. You have a little bit of orange. You have these beautiful textures in here. The metallics are gorgeous. Some of them are dual chromes. Like this one right here is so pretty, so creamy and so shifty. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like this New Year shade, this beautiful kind of greeny teal is gorgeous. Like the formula is so good from Oden's Eye, and I just love everything that they do. Like their palettes are always at the top of my rankings because they do the color story so well. They have such good formula, their packaging is beautiful, their whole customer service, everything, the whole experience with the brand has always been amazing. So that's why their palettes are always super, super high on my rankings. Then number 2 in the ranking, which this is also a ultimate glam palette with intense metallics in it. This is the Minka palette from Adept Cosmetics. Like these metallics are so beautiful, so sparkly, so glam and amazing and stunning. And you do have some color in here. You have like this bluish gray shade. You have these 2 pinky ones. They both shift to a green color. It's so, so beautiful. And I love how intense these are. Now, the metallics are a little bit on the thicker side. They do have a little bit more texture, but I think it's worth it at how beautiful and sparkly they are. And I could see myself really using this a lot when I want to be extra glam. I want to go to an event or party, and I want to be shining. Like I want to be on the dance floor and you can see me from a distance because I am shining because of these shades. And they do lean a little bit more nudie. Like you have these beautiful like taupey shades and antique gold. So this also would work for more of a nudie lover that wants glam looks, but they still want it to be on the more nudie side. So this is so beautiful. I wasn't expecting to love it so much, but I'm a sucker for metallics and super sparkly shades. They get me every time. And then number 1 on the ranking, and I knew this was going to be number 1 when I saw the palette and I used it. I was like, yep, this is my favorite. I already know it. This is the Christmas Eve palette from Oden's Eye. Like I said, Oden's Eye palettes always make it to the top in my rankings because their formula, their color story, their packaging is always amazing. And look at this. I'm honestly so sad that this was a limited edition product, so you can't pick this up anymore, and it's sold out. And then they brought it back again, then it sold out again, and they were like, that's it for the year. But these are so, so beautiful. This one's a little bit more cool tone. That's why I gravitate to this one more, because I love my blues. I love that there's a little bit of green in here. You have these beautiful purples. a little bit of grunge. Like the shades are just so striking and gorgeous in here. And this is such a beautiful, more like wintry, frosty color story. It is different from any other like wintry palettes that I've seen. And I'm just such a fan. You have dual chromes in here, super intense sparkly ones. You have all this depth and mid-tones. You have some like lighter shades. Like there's so much versatility in this one as well. And I just love everything about it. The packaging as well. So I knew that this was going to be number one. I've been blown away with my looks that I've done with this. And I keep wanting to play with it more and more. Like I have to stop myself from like wanting to reach for this one over other palettes because I need to give, you know, love to all of my palettes in my collection. But it is so beautiful. And I'm sorry that I'm raving about a palette that you can't get anymore, but it was good. And if you have it, cherish it, love it. It is an amazing palette. And Uden's Eye is killing the game, okay? They're doing so good. And I'm just impressed by this brand. They get better and better every time. Anyways, guys, that was everything for this ranking. All 12 palettes that I was able to test out and give you my final thoughts on. I think they were all really good palettes and I enjoyed them. And I'm happy that I have all of them. And I hope that this video was helpful in letting you know whether this is something for you or something that you're happy that you passed on. Either way, I try to do these videos so you guys can really know my thoughts after using them for a while instead of just giving you a first impression. Like I said, I do have a huge ranking coming in January where all of my palettes are going to be ranked together that I tried this year. So you'll get to see what was the best of the best for the year and what was like at the bottom for the year. I find those videos so interesting. Now, they're time consuming and they're long because it's like 50, 60 palettes that I'm ranking, but it is also so much fun and I really enjoy doing them. But you guys will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Were you surprised by my ranking? Would you have thought I put things in different places, or would you rank these in different places? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video and you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup and all that fun stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I'd love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the palettes linked, all the videos that I've done on them, like reviews and looks, if you want to see more on any of these palettes. I will also have my makeup linked in case you're curious on what's on my face and my eyes. I think I did mention that I use the MV palette from HBT to do this. So check out my video if you wanted to see how I created this look. I will also have my contact and my social media platforms. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to get some different content in your life, then please join my Instagram fam. I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, supporting my channel, being amazing. I just love you guys all so much, and I hope you are all doing well wherever you are in the world, and I'm just sending you all so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.